everybody, thanks so much for joining me today on my channel. If you hadn't taken the time yet, would you make sure you hit that like and subscribe button? That helps me out immensely, so I would appreciate it so much. We're looking at these two cards today, and we are going to create the backgrounds. These backgrounds look super impressive, and although we're using the exact same stencil, we can create different looks with it. So today we're going to be using this Pretty Pink Posh background stencil. I bought all of these products. This video is not sponsored, so make sure that you click in the description for any details on what I'm using. But we're going to start with some type of matte to keep whatever you watercolor on. So we're going to use some watercolor paper. This is Canson XL. And then we're going to use any type of stencil that you would like to use. I'm using the butterfly background. You need something to get out your paste. I'm going to use Altenew Embossing Paste because this paste is very white and matte. You could use any type of paste that you want. I do think that it would be best if it was white, just so that you can add your colors to it. Okay, and depending on the size of your stencil background, so see how this little butterfly stencil, all these butterflies, they're connected to something, but they're very thin. And so I did add a little bit of pixie spray on the back of my stencil to make sure it's stuck down. And I'm also using washi tape all along the sides to hold this down because it is little bitty lines, and sometimes you can peel those up a little easier than a chunkier stencil. So just make sure you've got it taped down really well. Okay, now that I have it all taped down, I'm going to get into my embossing paste, and this plastic here is press and seal. It just helps keep this from drying out. I don't know if you have trouble with your paste drying out, but I definitely do. And so I'm going to get a lot of this on my spatula. I would suggest using a metal spatula if you have one. I just don't actually have one. I think it'd be a little sturdier than this, so I'm going to have to kind of go slow with my application. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit and talk you through some pointers. Okay, so one thing is to make sure you're using the flat side of whatever spatula you're using. And you want to be careful that you're not pulling up these teeny little butterflies. These are very delicate, so you've got to kind of be careful with how you're applying it and pushing it down, because you can accidentally get the edge of your spatula caught, and that'll pull one up and then it messes up your design. I can be a little type A, so I definitely make sure that I fill in every little section, which means that you need to go in different directions with your paste. So this paste is a thicker paste than some of the others that you'll use. Part of it's probably because I'm about halfway through my jar, so it's a little bit thicker, but you have to go in different ways to make sure you get the whole stencil covered. I also try to keep how much I've got on here pretty even, so you see me wiping away and trying to keep it all pretty level. One thing that happens with watercolor paper is that if you've got a lot of liquid in your paste, you will start to notice that the watercolor paper wants to bubble up. That's why it's definitely important to make sure you have it taped down really well, or it could kind of warp as you're putting this on, and that makes it very difficult to get it even. Okay, I know you want to see the reveal. I love reveals. So here we go. I'm going to take this tape off carefully. Now remember, this paper is going to want to bubble a little bit, so just be cautious as you're taking it off. I'm going to slowly do this and hold the paper down so it doesn't get stuck. Can you see how much dimension there is on this? It's just amazing. I love it. So now we're going to add some extra excitement to it. I'm going to use this distress glitter because it's a thicker, chunkier glitter, and I think that makes this effect look even cooler, but you could do any type of glitter. Yes, it's going to be a mess. I've got a piece of paper, I've got a coffee filter, anything I can to try to help this, and I'm still going to end up with this all over my face, I'm sure. But it's worth it, okay? So you want to do this while your stuff is still wet. So I'm applying a decent amount of glitter. I'm going to carefully tap it off because in between that stencil it's not wet, but look at how that's looking. Oh my goodness, it looks, even if we just kept it white, it would look really cool as like snow. Oh, That'd be awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put the rest of this on here, and then we are going to let this dry. So I let mine dry overnight. You don't have to let it dry that long, but I might give it at least a couple of hours because we're going to be adding water and color to this, and I just wanted to give enough time for that glitter to really set there. Now, if you're in a big hurry, you could try heating it, but you cannot heat it from the front or you're going to blow all the glitter off. So you'd need to heat from the back, which I think would probably be a little bit of a pain. So maybe just make a few of these, set them aside, let them have some time to dry. I'm just in love with it, even with it being white, but we're gonna add even more to this that's just gonna make it look extra exciting. So we're going to go, this is my dried panel. So I've dried it overnight. Glitter's not really coming off. It may come off just a little bit on your hands, but most of it is staying on. I'm just grabbing two colors. You can do whatever you want to. I just love this purple and teal from that Altenew watercolor set. So I'm going to use just these two little pods. You could use it in the tin if you wanted to. I just like having them out on my mat because I'm going to use my mat to add water. So you can do this a lot of different ways. I love using these little watercolor brushes because they have some extra water, so I can drop water into where I'm going to do and just kind of all around. But you could also spray the whole panel and then add your water and have it move. I like adding, and then if I get it too dark somewhere, I tend to spray the water. So watch when I spray this. And then I can kind of make it run a little bit more. It really lightens it up, and you just got so many options. So I'm just making a random pattern of this. I'm just gonna kind of slowly fill in. I want the colors to overlap at places because that gives it some nice color too. I'm just gonna be adding color. And then I do the same thing with the purple. So I'm gonna get a different brush and I'm gonna start working on this purple. This purple is very dark. So you'll see I'm adding some water with my brush, spreading it around, and even using the water sprayer just to add a little bit. I don't want to get this purple too dark. I really was going for a lighter purple look, but look what happens when I get it too dark right here, okay? So I did just a little too much, and then I add water with my spray bottle. I can kind of press it around with that spray bottle and go back in with the brush. Really fun. So this is, to me, kind of like a therapy. I love doing this color stuff, and I love the fact that it's really almost impossible to mess up. I mean, you just are having fun, pick some colors that work well together and that their overlap will be nice. And then I'm going to finish this up and I'm going to show you what this background looks like. Okay, here it is really zoomed in. So you can see I'm just kind of dabbing and trying to be careful with my glitter because I don't want to knock the glitter off with my brush. So I'm just going in, adding color really lightly, adding extra water, and not brushing all of that glitter. I'm just adding it in those areas, adding extra water with my brush and with my little spray bottle. So lots of options, super fun. Let me show you what it looks like. Once you're done, this is going to be very wet, so I use some paper towels to dab along the edge, and then I turn it both ways to pour off any that's in between those little butterflies. Here's what it looks like dry. I am super impressed. I think this looks amazing, and I can't wait to make a card out of it. Quick pointer on how to get your watercolor panels flat again. I love using a double-sided foam adhesive. You can use strips of it, but these card panel types like this really do a great job. And you just bend down the adhesive on one side, apply your panel, keep it as flat as possible, and then that's all you have to do. I mean, you could go ahead and cut your panel down if you want to. I just wanted to apply mine to it and then cut around it. So that's what I did. I cut my foam adhesive to the appropriate size of the card, and then I'm flattening this out, and it keeps your panel flat. And you can see how flat this panel is now. It was warped before, but with that foam, it does great. For the other card that I created, I did the exact same thing minus the glitter. So it is the same Altenew embossing paste, the same stencil, and then I use the same two colors. You can see it gives a much more pastel look because that embossing paste is kind of a matte white, but it still looks beautiful, just a different style of card. For the last part of this video, I just wanted to show you an easy way to do a watercolor inlaid die cut. So I'm using this big butterfly and it's got multiple pieces to it. I tried watercoloring it all together and that just took too much time. So I'm going to create an ombre look. I'm just using a large brush and I'm creating an ombre look of both of my colors, and I'm going to cut out this butterfly in both colors. So I'm adding and creating darker towards the top of the ombre and then going down and making it lighter. So here's how that turns out in teal, and now I'm creating the purple side, and then I'm going to cut two butterflies and we're going to put them together. I am not going to show you how to put them together in this video. I just wanted to show you an easy way to get your colors so that you're not worrying about how to color those teeny tiny little pieces in this butterfly. My last tip for this video is when you're doing inlaid die cutting, it always helps to have some double-sided adhesive. You need to put this on before you die cut. So I'm going to cover the back, and that will help me be able to already have a sticky part to my dies so that when I put them and I'm trying to line them up in my butterfly, it's already covered. So just a little tip, whenever you're doing inlaid die cutting, get yourself some adhesive on the back if you can. This one's from scrapbook.com, but there's a million different ones out there. Also, with this video, make sure that you have hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure that you go through the description for any things that you may be going shopping for today. That really helps support me and my channel. And like I said, I did not receive anything for this video, so those little things help a lot. I'm going to jump ahead to the two butterflies that I made and the two backgrounds. So you can tell the difference in the background. The one on the left is with glitter and the one on the right is without the glitter. And then I've got two butterflies. So it's easy to make a 2-for-1 card with this because I needed to make both of these colors of the butterfly, and you may as well not waste your other part. So I put the butterfly together. I did add a little bit of glitter in the middle, and then that was the end of this card. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you check out some of my other videos. I have a whole list of them, so check them out, hit the like and subscribe, and make sure you check the description for anything that you're interested in shopping for. Have a great day, guys. Bye!